Hello there, it's your friend Phil, Project Management Trainer and Coach. Today, we're going to take a look at a question from one of our students, Lewis, about cadence in flow-based Agile. Now, this confusion comes from section 3.3 in the Agile Practice Guide on page 32. And on this page, it reads, teams can use flow-based Agile with a cadence. And knowing what flow-based Agile is without a steady time box, there's that question of how is this possible? So I understand where this student is coming from. If you read prior to this, it says many teams find that using a cadence in the form of a regular time box helps them demo, retrospect, and take in new work. So let's stop right there. Do you see the elements that can be cadenced? It is not the entire gamut of activities or ceremonies that need to be cadenced. Could everything be cadenced like it is in Scrum? Absolutely. But does it always have to be cadenced in Kanban that same way when we use the word cadence? No. In cadence, there's a natural cadence, and there is what we could call a time box cadence where you perform these ceremonies to a particular rhythm, to a beat, to the beat of a 1 and a 2 and a 3. But there is a natural cadence that could evolve in some circles. Is it possible to use a time box cadence in the world of Kanban? Absolutely. Yes, it is. And this is how you would do it. You would cadence the events, and you would cadence the necessary events. The events, as you see fit, could be put into some sort of rhythmic time box. So when we use the word cadence, it just means rhythm. It doesn't always have to be a 1, a 2, a 3, and 4. It could be a natural cadence of 2 weeks, but where 3 weeks is more appropriate, so shall it be. That is a natural cadence. Let's read a little bit, because if you understand the origins of Kanban and you know the work of David J. Anderson, who pioneered this at Microsoft, you'll understand that when authorities speak, you should listen. And I want to read from David's book. I want to read chapter 8, Establishing a Delivery Cadence. I just want to read a tiny little bit. The term delivery cadence, you see that? You could have a delivery cadence, you could have a retrospective cadence, you could have different cadences. But the term delivery cadence in the title of this chapter implies establishing a pattern of delivery of work in software at a regular interval. And then he goes further to say, it is generally established in agile software development circles that a regular cadence is important. Agile development methods achieve this with a time box iteration, just like what I was saying, 1 week to 4 weeks. The argument for time boxing is based on the notion that a steady heartbeat to a project is important. There's an underlying assumption that in order to achieve this, it is necessary to use strictly time box iterations. You see, now, if you read further, turning over the page to 92, it says Kanban dispenses with the time box iteration and instead decouples the activities of prioritization, development, and delivery. The cadence of each is allowed to adjust its own natural level. Kanban does not dispense with the notion of a regular cadence, though. Kanban teams still deliver software regularly, preferring a short timescale. So what we're saying in essence is you could still have a natural cadence. You could still employ a time boxed type cadence, not for the delivery though, but for meetings that surround the delivery. And this again can be done with an understanding that a natural cadence could still emerge even for these meetings. So let's take a look at some of the work that has been put together by the Agile Alliance in Kanban cadences. And a lot of this is, of course, an offshoot of the work of David J. Anderson. If you go to David J. Anderson's website, you will see his most recent update of the cadences in Kanban. But let's take a look at what we have on the Agile Alliance site. If you go to the Agile Alliance site, you see a number of these Kanban cadences: strategy review, operations review, OKRs, wall of work, service delivery review, risk review as needed, team planning meetings, team stand-ups, and delivery planning. And you can see they've got labels. Now, this is not to be followed rigidly. And of course, these meetings do not follow In strict rotation, there could be several feedback loops between these as often as needed, when needed. Remember, you're not being put into a rigid time box. Do you have some structure? Yes. Is it a must? It must happen like it is in Scrum? No. All right. So when you talk about cadence, my friends, it is very important to remember cadence does not immediately equate to time box. You've got natural cadences, you've got cadences around meetings, you've got cadences around deliveries, cadences around ceremonies, that kind of thing. I hope this gives you further clarity. You take care. Speak to you soon.